Welcome back to Pharmacology Not Pharmacy with Rachel, this time on the topic of vaping. Recently, we've seen increased usage of electronic cigarettes or vaping, especially among teenagers. So what exactly is vaping? Well, we've seen a rise in it. We've seen social media influencers post about it. And we've also seen individuals claim that vaping is apparently safe. So what exactly is the science behind vaping? And does the science match up with the claims that are being thrown around? Let's take a look.
Vaping devices are also known as e-cigarettes, e-vaporizers, vapes, and electronic nicotine delivery systems as just a few examples. They facilitate the inhalation of an aerosol or vapor which often contains nicotine, flavorings, and other chemicals. The physics and engineering behind these electronic cigarettes are that the battery-powered heating device is activated through puffing by the user, and the heating device vaporizes the liquid in the cartridge. The vapor or aerosol that results is then inhaled by the user. Now, onto the biological and pharmacological aspects of vaping. The main active ingredient in electronic cigarettes is nicotine. Nicotine naturally occurs in tobacco plants, acting as nature's insecticide by being a neurotoxin. In healthy human adults, just a few drops of 60 milligrams of pure nicotine on the tongue can kill them. When someone inhales the nicotine neurotoxin into their lungs, it's absorbed into the circulation, moving to their brain before it binds to and activates nicotinic acetylcholine receptors by mimicking the natural acetylcholine molecule which also binds to this receptor. Receptor activation can be stimulating or relaxing, depending on the setting in which the individual is smoking in. Over the course of the day, if the individual continually smokes, receptors desensitize to the nicotine. However, after a night's sleep, the receptors resensitize, which contributes to why the first smoke of the day feels better than the following smokes. So, what about the nicotine gives individuals the high and is so addictive? Well, nicotine acts on the nicotinic acetylcholine receptors, which are expressed in the brain, thereby then activating the reward center of the brain. This activation by nicotine provides reward levels that natural activities such as feeding and procreation cannot even reach, leading to addiction as the user can only satisfy their cravings through vaping more and more.
Now that we have more knowledge on the science behind vaping, we've also managed to enlist the help of a healthcare expert to help us address some of the common beliefs or misbeliefs that seem to surround vaping.
My name is Kerry Rusk. I am an assistant teaching professor in the Faculty of Nursing. My background is primarily actually just community health and women's health. That it's not as harmful for you as cigarette smoke, that it's very little, that there's actually very little harm to it. They also don't seem to associate any risk of vaping with people around them.
You blow out water vapor so you're not harming anyone around you and you're not harming yourself.
So sort of the second and third hand smoke that we know of that exists with cigarette smoke, they've been a little slow to recognize too that's going to have an impact.
What was that?
It's water vapor.
Really?
I'm essentially humidifying the space.
And that's the big myth that they have for sure.
Is nicotine in and of itself bad for you?
Nicotine is dangerous because it's highly addictive. It is one of the most addictive substances that exist on the planet.
I've read things that say it's really not, that it's about as bad for you as a cup of coffee, like it's a stimulant, like caffeine.
Right.
I'm choosing to believe that.
We certainly do know that nicotine, it's not harmless. Anybody who says, look, nicotine is harmless, I don't know, would you say, okay, well, an addiction to heroin is harmless?
But it's not bad for you. So it's a fun addiction.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, addictions are not harmless. We know addictions are not harmless. So, even by itself, just talking about nicotine and addiction right away tells you it is not a harmless substance. Is it the substance in cigarette smoke that is causing all of the cancers and the mortality that we see with cigarette smokes? No, nicotine is not the one doing it. It will increase your blood pressure. It'll increase your heart rate. It certainly can, contribute to hardening your arteries, which can contribute to heart attacks. So is it the most harmful substance? Depending on how you quantify or qualify what a harmful substance is, it's harmful in the fact that it is addictive. It's not the substance that is known to be causing the cancers, but it still does have physiologically harmful effects on the body that can contribute to things like heart attacks and strokes. Vaping is not harmless. Now, the vaping companies have historically tried to use the number of 95%. Vaping is 95% better for you than smoking cigarette smoke. The FDA in the United States last year came out and warned Juul in late 2019 about making the claim, because they said that Juul had failed to scientifically prove the claim that it was 95% safer. In reality, is vaping likely less harmful than cigarette smoke? Yeah, the lack of combustion alone probably in long term will result in fewer cancers. But the research that is already out there is basically showing us that, it's affecting the teeth, it's increasing gum disease. We're seeing popcorn lung because of these ultrafine particles that are being ingested. And so we are seeing illnesses that already exist in a very short period of time that the research is being done. And I think that itself is concerning. You'll notice they're really careful in calling it a smoking cessation aid. It's because not a single vaping company has taken any of their devices to Health Canada or the appropriate regulatory bodies to have it tested and have it licensed as a smoking cessation aid, because it hasn't ever been tested or proven to help with smoking cessation whatsoever. Don't let yourself be fooled. Tobacco has a role in vaping as well, and they're a business and they want people using their products. And the strategies that were used in the 50s and the 60s and 70s to addict young people are the same kind of strategies that they're using right now. They keep saying, look, our product is just for smokers. And I would say, okay, fine. So your smokers, you're already used to tasting either menthol or to tobacco. Why do then these smokers who may want a healthier alternative to smoking, why do they need 7,000 different flavors? Why do they need rum and coke? Why do they need peach schnapps? Why do they need fizzy peach and cotton candy and mint chip, tiger? Like, why do they need those? They don't. It's because it was the same thing that the tobacco companies did decades ago before the government put restrictions around flavored cigarette products. We know that youth would go to strawberry flavored cigarettes, to mint flavored cigarettes. Those are the products that they would go to. And that's how with nicotine, these youth got addicted and became the adults that we see are now using smoking today. So, I would say to youth, don't let yourself be fooled here. The tobacco company has a big role in vaping. They are trying to addict you, and they're trying to intentionally make these products look appealing for you as youth. And they are not harmless by any stretch of the imagination at all.
With all this new knowledge in mind, it seems clear that despite vaping still being a somewhat new phenomenon compared to other nicotine delivery systems, vaping is harmful to your health.
So what's our verdict today on vaping? Probably don't start vaping and don't vape.